Welcome to the second episode of Internal Affairs with Dr. Roy Taylor. Today, we're going to examine the most shocking breaches of public trust in recent memory, the story of former Jackson County, Florida Deputy Zachary Wester, a man who was sworn to uphold the law, accused of planting drugs on innocent people, a deputy trusted with a badge, now convicted of betraying his community. This case stretches from roadside traffic stops to the Florida State Supreme Court, and the fallout has left victims, families, and the entire profession of policing scarred. Let's go back to July 25th of 2017, a warm night in Grand Ridge, Florida. Deputy Wester is patrolling Highway 90 when he stops a sedan for what he claims is a broken headlight. Inside, Jason Kilpatrick, who was driving, his passenger Hope Atkinson. According to Deputy Wester's official report, he smelled the strong odor of marijuana. He claimed Hope admitted she had just smoked a joint. He searched the car and reported finding rolling papers, residue, and controlled substances, tramadol and hydrocodone. Miss Atkinson was handcuffed, booked, and charged, but she would later insist those drugs weren't hers. In fact, they were there at all, and she was not alone. Investigators would later uncover a disturbing pattern of dozens of traffic stops. The same story, the same deputy, innocent citizens suddenly accused of crimes they didn't commit. In 2019, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement arrested Zachary Wester. The charges, nearly 70 counts: racketeering, official misconduct, fabricating evidence, false imprisonment, drug possession, and perjury. His trial began in 2021. Victims testified about how their lives were torn apart. One woman, Teresa, broke down as she recalled being arrested in front of her young child. After weeks of testimony, the jury returned a verdict. Judge Goodman sentenced Wester to 12 years and 6 months in prison. For the victims, the damage was already done. Families separated, jobs lost, reputations destroyed, all because one deputy betrayed his oath. But the story didn't stop there. In November of 2024, Florida's First District Court of Appeal overturned Wester's racketeering conviction. Why? Because racketeering laws were written to target organized criminal enterprises, and the judges ruled Wester acted alone. The state disagrees. The Attorney General argues that when a deputy abuses the power of an entire sheriff's office, that is organized crime. The Florida Supreme Court has now agreed to review the case, and their ruling could reshape how racketeering laws affecting law enforcement officers themselves, when they become criminals, are used. Let's pause to hear this story from the victim's perspective. Imagine being pulled over for a broken headlight, and minutes later, you're accused of possessing drugs you've never seen before. Hope Atkinson lived that nightmare. She spent months facing felony charges. Eventually, prosecutors dropped her case, but the damage to her freedom, her reputation, and her trust in law enforcement was irreversible. And she was not just one person, but one of hundreds of cases tainted by Wester's misconduct. As a law enforcement professional with over 40 years of experience, I find this case both heartbreaking and infuriating. Police officers are entrusted with extraordinary powers: the power to stop, to search, to seize, the power to take away someone's freedom. The power is fragile, and when one officer abuses it, the damage ripples outward. It harms not only the victims, but the credibility of the entire profession. This case shows why strong supervision, early intervention, accountability are essential. Supervisors must watch for red flags: an officer making unusual number of arrests or repeating the same improbable justifications. Wester's actions betrayed his badge. Our job is to make sure those betrayals are detected and stopped before they ruin lives. Deputy Wester's case is a stark reminder: unchecked misconduct devastates communities, and every time trust is broken, rebuilding it takes years. As we await the Florida Supreme Court's ruling, one truth is clear: accountability is not optional, transparency is not a luxury, and oversight is not a burden. They are the only way to protect the fragile trust between police and the people we serve. I'm Dr. Roy Taylor. Thank you for listening to Internal Affairs. Stay tuned for our next episode, and I hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.